World War I ended in silence. World War II ended with mushroom clouds. The Cold War? That didn't end at all. It dragged on for 45 years like the world's pettiest breakup. No direct fights, just constant flexing. Nukes, spies, space races, and proxy wars where everyone else did the dying. Imagine two superpowers treating the planet like a custody battle, and the rest of us were the kids stuck in the middle. The year is 1945. Hitler's dead, Japan's nuked, and Europe is rubble. Everyone should be celebrating, right? But nope. Instead of champagne and hugs, the US and the Soviet Union instantly start glaring at each other like ex-roommates arguing over who actually owned the couch. The Americans are flexing. We've got nukes, money, Coca-Cola, and Hollywood. The Soviets shoot back. We've got tanks, communism, and vodka strong enough to disinfect a battleship. It was never about hugs or thank yous. It was about power. Who controls Europe? Who controls Asia? Who controls the future? Suddenly, the victory party turns into a custody battle for the planet. In 1946, Winston Churchill stepped up and dropped the mic with his famous Iron Curtain speech. Translation? Europe is basically divorced now. The West is mine, the East is Stalin's, and Germany is the poor kid stuck in the middle. The phrase Iron Curtain hit like a viral headline. Western newspapers went crazy with it, and Stalin pretended he wasn't quietly welding one together in Eastern Europe. But everyone knew what it meant. Stalin was pulling Poland, Hungary, Romania, and Czechoslovakia into his communist fan club. And membership? Not optional. If you protested, congratulations, you were on the fast track to Siberia. Meanwhile, America was cooking up its own plan. In 1947, President Harry Truman announced the Truman Doctrine, which was basically Uncle Sam offering an anti-communist insurance plan. If communism knocks on your door, don't panic. I'll pay your bills and maybe throw in free shipping. Greece and Turkey were the first customers. Truman pitched it as defending freedom, but really it was America saying, we'll buy your loyalty with cash. Just stay blue on the map, not red. And then came the Marshall Plan. The US backed a truck full of money up to Western Europe, $12 billion, which is like $150 billion today. The PR was helping rebuild, but the fine print was, here's a boatload of dollars, now pinky swear you won't go communist. And it worked. Western Europe got highways, factories, and refrigerators. Eastern Europe got speeches about workers' paradise, and maybe, if you were lucky, extra potatoes. Stalin even forced Czechoslovakia to reject American aid, literally turned down free money, just to keep his sphere under control. Imagine your neighbor refusing food during a famine because of capitalism. So now you had two Europes. Western Europe, swimming in Coca-Cola, jazz, and Levi's. Eastern Europe, drowning in pamphlets and potato stew. But the real custody battle, Germany. Oh boy. Germany was like that one apartment divorced parents won't stop fighting over. Officially, it was split into 4 zones: the US, the UK, France, and the USSR. But the real drama was Berlin. 3 Western-controlled zones plopped right inside Soviet-controlled East Germany. Basically, 3 McDonald's were built inside a vegan commune. Drama was guaranteed. By 1948, Stalin's patience snapped. He blockaded West Berlin, cutting off food, coal, and supplies, hoping the Allies would surrender the city. The West's answer? The Berlin Airlift, basically a 1-year-long Amazon Prime delivery service by air. For 11 months, Allied planes dropped everything from bread to coal. One American pilot, nicknamed the Candy Bomber, even dropped chocolate bars tied to little parachutes for Berlin kids. Forget TikTok influencers. This guy was Cold War PR gold. The Soviets? Totally humiliated. East went quiet. West turned up the volume. But don't get comfy. In 1949, Stalin pulls out his trump card. The Soviet Union detonates its first nuke. Translation? Surprise! You're not the only one who can blow up the planet. For 4 years, America had strutted around with its exclusive nuclear cheat code. Now the monopoly was gone, and everyone suddenly realized they were living on a planet with two people holding end-of-the-world buttons. And 1949 had a sequel twist. Across the world, Mao Zedong took over China, turning the world's most populous country communist. Boom. Overnight, 1/4 of humanity switched teams. The US was horrified. Losing China was like dropping your queen in the middle of a chess game. At home, paranoia went into overdrive. Enter the Red Scare. Americans were suddenly convinced their neighbor, their teacher, or their favorite Hollywood actor might be a Soviet spy. Senator Joseph McCarthy turned it into a full-time sport. Accuse, interrogate, blacklist, repeat. Hollywood stars got dragged into hearings, teachers lost jobs, and random people were branded un-American for reading the wrong books. It was like cancel culture, but with FBI files instead of hashtags. Even comic books joined the fight. Superman was fighting commies. Captain America punched Stalin lookalikes. Kids ducked under their school desks in nuclear attack drills, because obviously a wooden desk would protect them from a hydrogen bomb. America was losing its mind, and Moscow loved it. And just to spice things up, in 1950, the Cold War stopped being cold. North Korea, with Soviet backing and later Chinese muscle, invaded South Korea. The US and its allies jumped in, and suddenly Korea became the first big proxy war. It was communism versus capitalism, East versus West, except the Koreans themselves paid the heaviest price. The war lasted 3 bloody years, millions died, and when the dust settled, the border was basically right where it started. Translation? The Cold War unlocked a new level, proxy wars, and everyone kept hitting continue. The sarcasm of history? The war was marketed as defending freedom, but to most people, it looked like two superpowers using someone else's country as a boxing ring. By the mid-1950s, the planet was officially split. On one side, NATO, a shiny Western club promising collective defense and free Coca-Cola. On the other hand, the Warsaw Pact, Moscow's squad, bound together by tanks, propaganda, and fear. Both sides stacked weapons, stockpiled soldiers, and armed nukes. Spies lurked in shadows, paranoia was mainstream, and the whole world was holding its breath. Everyone was just waiting for the other guy to blink or slip. And here's the kicker. Everything you've just heard, nukes, walls, paranoia, airlifts, scares, and an entire war in Korea, all of that chaos happened in just the first decade of the Cold War. That's how insane this breakup was. If you thought the Cold War was just about speeches and staring contests, think again. Because next up, the arms race goes nuclear, the space race takes the drama into orbit, and the world comes terrifyingly close to pressing the big red button. Stay tuned. This breakup is only getting started.